So yesterday on February 16th, we had received a fire alarm activation around 1:30 in the afternoon for the Emerald Square Mall. The fire apparatus responded. When they got there, they had a alarm condition on the third floor, the northern end of the mall by Sears for a smoke detector that was going off. Upon arrival up on the third floor, they found water coming through one and two smoke detectors in a vestibule area. So they started to investigate, isolate, and then as they started working through this process, security advised them of multiple other water leaks throughout the third floor. We started to investigate, and as we progressed down the mall, it was getting increasingly concerning as we got to the food court. When they got to the food court, they found water coming through the men's bathroom on the third floor, to the point where they were trying to control it, but they were having a very difficult time, had to close that bathroom down. In the food court, which is adjacent to that men's bathroom, there were multiple roof leaks coming through various parts of the roof, in addition to a vacant Italian restaurant, pizza restaurant. There was water coming through that space and affecting that electrical panel. So we worked with them all. We isolated some areas of the electrical issues, but then we had a concern about the amount of ice, water, and snow on the roof. So out of an abundance of caution, we did shut them all down at about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon until they could get this water leak under control and make sure it was safe for the patrons to be in there. Any questions from that perspective?
Do you want to just finish and then we'll ask questions after?
That's fine, yeah. So then as we shut them all down, we made a plan to come back today at 9:30 and meet with mall management and all the appropriate town departments. It was decided that their mitigation efforts to work with the roofing company, control some of the leaks. Obviously, it all froze overnight, so nothing was leaking as we were there today. And to stop making some of those repairs, we decided to let them all reopen at their appropriate time.
So Chief, was there any concern for a roof collapse here?
At the current moment at that time, we were unsure, just because we were getting a lot of rain last night. At this point in time, there does not appear to be any concern for a collapse. However, we have asked them all to have their roofing company come in, take a look at the roof overall, just because of the large span of water that was coming through it. It wasn't like a small isolated area. This was multiple areas. So out of the abundance of caution, because we didn't know what was going on the roof, that's why we closed them all.
Yeah, it makes sense because a situation like that could have been or can be catastrophic.
100%, right? So obviously, as you start putting loads on the roof from ice and snow, and the amount of rain that we got in a very short amount of time yesterday, that's why I made the decision to, pause everything and get things in motion for every town department to come across and do that investigation.
And what are some of those mitigation measures that the mall has put in place and showed you guys that you felt, okay, this is a safe bet that we can reopen? Yeah,
so they're going to look at their roof, they're going to look at the areas where it was leaking, going to make sure that all the drains are open and accessible and allowing that water to drain as appropriate. Have their roofing company come in and make sure that specific areas of that roof are good. It's an old roof, it's an old building, it's over 30 plus years old, so obviously they need to make sure that everything is in place to make sure the roof is secure.
When it comes to safety, ice safety, a lot of rain, when it rains hard like this, people might have concerns at their own homes or things like that. Can you just talk about safety measures and how to make sure that can't happen, anywhere else?
Yeah, so obviously we've been very lucky over the past couple of years. We've had a very warmer winter, and now we're getting into a active weather pattern where we had snow, rain, ice. Flat roofs are a major concern. Making sure that all your drainages are open and that the water can drain down, making sure you've got no ice dams on your roof, and just general maintenance of your roof, right? Because obviously as that weight increases, it could cause a collapse of that. We've been very lucky where it's a little warmer today, but we get the wind to deal with, and we have potential more snow coming later this week.
Can you talk a little bit more in depth about being able to make the determination to get it back open? Because it opened, pretty close to normal open time today, so we were really only looking at a closure for the second half of yesterday. Just all the pieces of the puzzle that came together to declare it safe to be open.
Yeah, so obviously our goal was to make sure the mall could potentially open up. Obviously, we're President's Day weekend, it's a big shopping weekend, and we didn't want to have a major impact on the mall that is already struggling in itself, but safety is key, right? So we had a meeting, we walked the mall, we checked all the areas to make sure that nothing was falling down from the roofing material, like the sheetrock and that kind of stuff, our ceiling tiles, and that's what we looked at. The building inspector did give some punch list items to the mall to have that roofing company check out that, and they're gonna try and get there today. If not today, tomorrow, just because of the wind conditions and the ice right now. But they're gonna continue to monitor that. Nothing yesterday was coming down from the ceiling. So there was no actual internal collapse yesterday whatsoever. I was just concerned with the large area that it was leaking, the unknowns, and the amount of water that was coming down at a pretty good clip, and was that going to cause ceiling tiles to come down? And then we had the issue with the bathrooms as well, too. That bathroom had to be closed down, and then today, the health department did work with the mall with a contingency plan about using the anchor stores as alternative bathroom locations as well.
Yeah, could you ballpark about how many feet maybe were impacted?
So I would say the entire third floor of the mall, it's a pretty good length. There was, most of the third floor had leaks in some form or fashion. So at door number 5, which is the vestibule where the alarm came in, water was coming in through there. Then as you walk down the third floor, going south in the mall, towards Macy's, you had water coming through skylights, and every crossover, you had a leak over by JCPenney, and then you had leaks over at the food court. So basically, the entire third floor had leaks at some form or fashion throughout that, and that was going down into the second floor and into the first floor at different locations.
It just sounds like a lot of work. Is it just a Band-Aid that was put over it today to let it reopen? Is this going to need some more in-depth work?
So there is going to be some in-depth work. The mall's going to have to work through that on their roofing material. But I think from the public safety perspective, where I stood last night, and I made the decision to close them, I think we came up with a plan today that was applicable to everybody, because every old building has roof leaks. And if this was one isolated area, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation, but because it was in multiple areas spread out, that's what made me concerned.
Do you have a timeframe on how much it needs to happen before you have to shut it down again? Like, long times like this, we just need to cut the mill on our Band-Aid, it has to be fixed by the state?
So the state of Massachusetts, you mean, or?
Yeah, like, if you guys have to come in and have to shut it down again, because you get more rain or snow this week, and they weren't able to fix it, like, how long can this roof last, and what's the timeframe that needs to be done by?
So that's, so we did give them all, we had said that we'd like to see the roofing company there by Thursday at a minimum. You know, if they can get there sooner, great. But because of today's wind and the icing conditions, it may not be safe for them to be on the roof because of all the wind up there. But they did say they're gonna try and get them there before Thursday to get a condition of the roof. Now, from the fire perspective, I can't force somebody to fix a roof. That's under the building department essentially. I'm hopeful that the mall will work on that and get the roof addressed and have those repairs made. But unfortunately, a 30-year-old roof and a 30-year-plus old building is gonna have issues.
Anything else you want to say that we haven't asked?
No, I think that covers everything. You know, from a safety perspective, we just did it out of abundance of caution last time.